My dear friend, discipline is not a punishment. It is the greatest act of self-love you can ever give yourself. When you choose discipline, you are telling the universe, I am ready for more, I am ready for growth, and I am ready to rise above my limitations. Every dream you hold in your heart requires a structure, a foundation, and consistent action. Discipline is that structure. It is the bridge between who you are today and who you are becoming tomorrow. Discipline is more than a habit, more than a schedule, and more than a routine. Discipline is a sacred promise that you make to yourself that says, I will not abandon me. I will not betray me. I will not walk away from the life I know I deserve. When you live with discipline, you are choosing to honor your own word. And there is no greater power than that. Think about it. How many times in your life have you made a promise to yourself that you later broke? You said you would start waking up earlier, and yet you hit the snooze button. You said you would eat healthier, but you chose what was easiest in the moment. You said you would take steps toward your dream, but fear or procrastination held you back. Each time we abandon these promises, it chips away at our self-trust, and without self-trust, life begins to feel shaky, unstable, and uncertain. But when you embrace discipline, you begin to rebuild that sacred bond with yourself. You begin to trust your own word again. Every act of discipline is an act of integrity. When you rise from bed at the time you said you would, you are not just waking up. You are rising into alignment with your word. When you follow through on a commitment, no matter how small, you are showing yourself that your desires matter, that your future matters, and that you are worthy of the life you envision. Discipline whispers to your heart, I keep my promises, and because I keep them, my life will blossom. The beauty of discipline is that it does not demand perfection. It only asks for consistency. It asks you to show up even on the days you don't feel like it. It asks you to keep walking, even when the path seems long. It asks you to honor the agreement you made with yourself, even when nobody else is watching. And as you do this, as you keep your own word over and over again, something miraculous happens. You begin to trust yourself again. You begin to believe in yourself again. You begin to look in the mirror and see someone who is reliable, someone who is capable, someone who can be counted on. Discipline is not about forcing yourself into misery or harshness. It is about guiding yourself with love. Imagine a parent teaching a child to walk. The child may stumble, may fall, may cry. But the loving parent doesn't give up. They guide the child back to their feet, encouraging, steadying, and cheering them on. That is what discipline does for you. It is the loving parent within you that says, Wes, you can. Get up again. Try again. Stay with it. It is the inner voice that knows what you are capable of and refuses to let you settle for less. When you keep promises to yourself, you begin to see yourself differently. You no longer identify as someone who quits easily or someone who never follows through. You begin to wear discipline like a crown. You begin to carry yourself with confidence because deep down, you know you are reliable. You know you are steady. You know you are strong enough to do what you said you would do. And here is the most powerful part. Once you prove to yourself that you can trust your own word, you start to believe in the promises you make for your future. Suddenly, your dreams no longer feel impossible. They feel inevitable. If you can wake up on time, if you can move your body when you said you would, if you can take small daily actions toward your goals, then why wouldn't you be able to achieve the bigger things? Discipline creates evidence. Evidence that you are strong. Evidence that you are worthy. Evidence that you can be trusted with your own dreams. This is why discipline is freedom. Without it, you are trapped in cycles of regret, excuses, and broken promises. With it, You are liberated from self-doubt and indecision. You are free to grow, free to expand, free to build the life you imagine. Every choice to honor your word is a brick laid in the foundation of your new reality. And brick by brick, choice by choice, promise by promise, you build the life you once only dreamed about. So when you think of discipline, don't see it as a cage. See it as a key. A key that unlocks your potential. A key that opens doors you thought were sealed shut. A key that leads you back to your own power. Every time you choose discipline, you are saying, I will not abandon myself today. And when you refuse to abandon yourself, the universe refuses to abandon you too. So hold discipline close to your heart. Keep your promises, no matter how small. And know this, each step of discipline is a step of love, a step of freedom, and a step closer to the life you are destined to live. Discipline is often misunderstood. So many people believe it is about restriction, rules, or living a rigid life without joy. But the truth is that discipline is not the enemy of freedom. Discipline is the doorway to it. It is through discipline that you learn to create space, balance, and alignment. Discipline may feel like a chain in the beginning, but soon you discover it is the very force that sets you free. Think for a moment about a life without discipline. Without discipline, time slips away unnoticed. Hours are wasted on distractions, energy is scattered, and promises are left unfulfilled. Without discipline, your dreams remain only dreams because nothing anchors them into reality. And while it may feel like you are free to do whatever you want, that kind of freedom is not true freedom. It is chaos. It is living at the mercy of impulses, emotions, and outside influences. True freedom is not the absence of responsibility. It is the presence of order, clarity, and intention. When you choose discipline, you begin to experience life in a new way. You create freedom from procrastination because your actions are steady and purposeful. You create freedom from guilt because you know you are honoring your commitments. You create freedom from stress because you have built a foundation that supports you instead of one that crumbles beneath you. Discipline brings a peace that chaos never can. Imagine the difference between a river and a flood. A flood spreads everywhere without boundaries. It destroys. It overwhelms, and it leaves nothing stable behind. A river, however, is disciplined. It flows within its banks, guided by structure. And because it is disciplined, it is powerful. It nurtures life, it moves with strength, and it carves valleys and shapes landscapes. That is what discipline does to your energy. Without it, your life floods aimlessly. With it, your life flows with purpose and direction. And with that direction comes freedom. The freedom to move forward, to create, to achieve, and to enjoy the journey. Discipline also gives you freedom in the simplest and most practical ways. When you are disciplined with your time, you gain more of it. Instead of always rushing, always feeling behind, you discover space in your day. You have the freedom to rest because your responsibilities have already been cared for. When you are disciplined with your health, you gain freedom in your body. You can move with ease, feel stronger, and live without the heavy burden of neglect. When you are disciplined with your money, you gain financial freedom. You are no longer trapped in fear, debt, or scarcity because you have created order and stability. Every form of discipline returns to you as a greater form of freedom. There is a quiet confidence that comes with living a disciplined life. You no longer fear the challenges ahead because you know you are prepared. You no longer feel controlled by your own impulses because you have learned to guide them. You no longer wait for motivation because you have built habits that carry you forward even on the days you do not feel inspired. This is freedom. Freedom is not waiting for life to push you. It is knowing that you can move yourself. Of course, in the beginning, Discipline feels uncomfortable. It asks you to rise when you would rather stay in bed. It asks you to keep going when you would rather stop. It asks you to choose growth when you would rather choose comfort. But each time you say yes to discipline, you are reclaiming your power. You are reminding yourself that your future matters more than your excuses. And over time, what once felt heavy becomes natural. What once felt like resistance becomes ease. And the reward is freedom. Freedom to live a life that feels aligned, balanced, and purposeful. Think of the people who inspire you most. Think of the ones who built something lasting, who achieved greatness, who lived with joy and purpose. None of them arrived there without discipline. They understood that freedom is not given. It is earned through consistency, through devotion, and through the courage to do what must be done even when it is hard. Their discipline became the key that unlocked their freedom, and that same key is in your hands too. So the next time you feel resistance toward discipline, remember what it truly is. It is not a punishment. It is not a cage. It is not a thief of joy. Discipline is a gift. Discipline is the structure that holds your dreams safely until they are ready to blossom. Discipline is the guide that leads you away from distraction and toward fulfillment. Discipline is the bridge that carries you from limitation to freedom. When you embrace discipline, you embrace freedom. Freedom from fear, freedom from regret, freedom from the weight of living below your potential. Each disciplined choice expands your life. Each disciplined act opens a door. And with every promise you honor, you step closer to the truest kind of freedom, the freedom of living fully, intentionally, and in harmony with the life you were meant to create. Strength is not built in a single day. It is not born out of one grand action or one sudden transformation. Strength is built slowly, quietly, consistently, through the small steps you take every single day. The truth is, what you do once in a while does not shape your life. What you do daily becomes who you are. Every little choice matters. Every small action adds up. And though it may not feel significant in the moment, those small steps are the very foundation of unshakable strength. Think of a mountain. To the eye, it looks massive, solid, unmovable. But that mountain was not created in an instant. It rose over thousands of years, shaped by tiny shifts, layers upon layers of earth. Countless small movements that built something that now stands eternal. You too are building a mountain within yourself. Every small disciplined action is a layer of strength added to your being. And one day, you will look back and realize that the tiny steps you once thought were insignificant have built something magnificent, an unshakable version of you. So many people get discouraged because they want instant results. They want change to happen quickly. They want to wake up tomorrow with a new body, a new career, a new life. But that is not how true strength is created. Instant change does not last. What lasts is built slowly through steady repetition, through small choices that accumulate over time. It is not the one time you went to the gym that transforms your body. It is the 100 times, the 1,000 times. It is not the one day you save money that creates abundance. It is the countless days you chose discipline over impulse. It is not the one time you were kind to yourself that heals your heart. It is the practice of returning to self, love again and again. When you take small steps, you give yourself the gift of progress without overwhelm. A step may be small, but it is still forward movement. And as you keep moving, you begin to notice something shifting inside of you. Confidence begins to grow. Self-trust begins to strengthen. Momentum begins to carry you further than you thought possible. Each step builds upon the last, and soon what once felt heavy becomes light. What once felt impossible becomes natural. There is power in starting small. Too often, People set massive goals and then feel defeated when they cannot meet them immediately. But you don't need to climb the entire staircase today. You only need to take the first step, and then the next, and then the next. The beauty of life is that the small steps, repeated faithfully, become unstoppable momentum. A river starts as a trickle, but with time it carves valleys, nourishes lands, and becomes a force that cannot be ignored. Your small steps hold the same power. Do not underestimate the strength you build by simply showing up. Each time you choose to rise when you could stay down, each time you choose discipline when comfort calls, each time you choose growth when fear tries to hold you back, you are strengthening your spirit. You are teaching yourself resilience. You are proving to yourself that you can be counted on. That kind of strength cannot be shaken by outside circumstances because it is built from within. Small steps are also kinder to the heart. When you pressure yourself to do everything at once, you set yourself up for burnout and disappointment. But when you allow yourself to grow gradually, you give yourself space to breathe, to learn, and to expand. You honor the journey instead of rushing the destination. You allow yourself to evolve naturally, and in that process you discover joy. Joy in the small victories, joy in the daily progress, joy in becoming stronger one step at a time. Strength built slowly becomes strength that lasts. Quick fixes may give temporary results, but they crumble when tested. Unshakable strength is different. It is the kind of strength that stands even when storms come. It is the kind of strength that carries you through the darkest nights. It is the kind of strength that allows you to rise again and again, no matter how many times life tries to pull you down. And the secret to that kind of strength lies not in one grand act, but in the small, faithful steps you take each day. So do not despise the small beginnings. Do not think your effort is wasted just because the progress feels slow. Every seed begins unseen, buried in the soil, growing quietly before it ever breaks through the surface. Your small steps are those seeds. They are growing roots of strength within you, preparing you to rise higher than you ever imagined. One day you will look back at the path you walked. You will see the small steps that once felt so insignificant. And you will realize they built the foundation of the life you now live. You will see that every choice mattered, every effort counted, and every step was worth it. And in that moment, you will know the truth: small steps create great change, and the strength you built slowly is the strength that will carry you for a lifetime. Discipline is often seen as something that belongs only to the body, waking up early, exercising, eating while working hard. But the deeper truth is this: discipline is not only about what your body does, it is about how your mind learns to operate. When you practice discipline, you are not just strengthening your muscles or completing tasks. You are reshaping the way your mind responds to life. You are training your thoughts, your emotions, and your willpower to serve you instead of sabotage you. The mind left unchecked loves comfort. It whispers excuses. It seeks the easy path. It convinces you to stay where you are rather than push into where you could be. And while comfort feels good in the moment, it keeps you small. It keeps you repeating the same cycles over and over again. Without discipline, the mind becomes like a wild horse, running wherever it pleases, leading you into distractions, fears, and wasted time. But when you bring discipline into your life, you take the reins. You teach your mind to listen, to focus, to serve your higher goals instead of your lower impulses. Think about how often the mind tries to negotiate with you. It says, sleep a little longer. You can always start tomorrow. It says, you don't need to finish this today. You'll get to it later. It says, why try? It probably won't work anyway. These thoughts may sound harmless, but they are the very chains that hold you back. Every time you give in to them, you reinforce weakness. Every time you obey them, you shrink your potential. But each time you choose discipline instead, you teach your mind a new pattern. You teach it that your higher self, not your excuses, is in charge. Discipline is not about punishing the body, it is about liberating the mind. When you discipline yourself to wake up when the alarm rings, even when you feel tired, you are teaching your mind that feelings do not control you. When you discipline yourself to complete a task, even when motivation fades, you are teaching your mind that you keep going regardless of moods. When you discipline yourself to stick to your commitments, you are teaching your mind that your word has power and that you can be trusted. Slowly, steadily, discipline retrains the mind to align with strength instead of weakness, action of delay, and courage instead of fear. The more you practice discipline, the more mental clarity you gain. Suddenly, decisions become easier because you are no longer led by impulses. Temptations lose their power because you have built inner resilience. Chaos in the world around you no longer shakes you because your mind has learned to remain steady. This is the true gift of discipline, not only a stronger body, but a stronger, sharper, freer mind. Think of the way an athlete trains. The physical training is obvious, but the real transformation happens in the mind. Each repetition teaches patience. Each difficult workout teaches perseverance. Each moment of pain teaches resilience. It is not just the body that grows stronger. It is the mind learns how to push through resistance, how to keep going, how to rise above comfort. Life works in the same way. Your discipline in daily actions is not just shaping external results. It is training your inner world, building a mind that can carry you through anything. And here lies another truth. When the mind is trained, the body follows naturally. A disciplined mind makes disciplined choices. A disciplined mind doesn't need to be forced. It leads willingly. With a strong mind, you can master your health, your career, your relationships, your dreams. Because once the mind is trained, nothing can control you from the outside. You are no longer a prisoner to distractions, temptations, or fear. You become the master of yourself. There will be resistance at first, of course. The mind does not like change. It will rebel. It will argue. It will try to convince you to stay the same. But each time you choose discipline over ease, you weaken that resistance. Each time you act despite the excuses, you rewrite the story your mind tells you. And soon, what once felt impossible becomes natural. The same mind that once resisted now works with you. The same mind that once held you back now propels you forward. This is why discipline is such a gift. It is not just about how many tasks you complete, how many hours you work, or how many routines you follow. It is about the transformation of your inner world. It is about teaching your mind to be your ally instead of your enemy. It is about building a strength inside you that cannot be shaken by circumstance, temptation, or fear. So each time you practice discipline, remember you are not only training your body, you are training your mind. You are teaching it that you are in control. You are showing it that you can rise above excuses, moods, and comfort zones. And as your mind becomes stronger, your life begins to reflect that strength. You create focus. You create clarity. You create the unshakable inner power that allows you to walk through any storm with grace. Discipline builds the mind into a fortress. And when your mind is strong, there is no limit to what you can achieve. Discipline is not only about personal achievement. It is about harmony with life itself. When you choose discipline, you are not just organizing your days or completing tasks. You are stepping into alignment with the rhythm of the universe. Life responds to clarity. It responds to order. It responds to consistency. And discipline is the bridge that connects your inner world to the flow of the outer world. The universe is not chaotic. Everything in creation moves with order, patterns, and divine timing. The sun rises each day without fail. The moon moves through its phases with precision. The seasons change in perfect rhythm. Nature thrives because it follows discipline, an unbreakable flow of cycles and patterns that sustain life. When you embrace discipline in your own life, you mirror this natural order. You begin to walk in step with the same intelligence that guides the stars and the tides. You become part of the harmony instead of fighting against it. When you are undisciplined, you send mixed signals to life. One day you say you want health, but your actions show neglect. Another day you say you want success, but your choices show procrastination. You dream of abundance, but your habits show inconsistency. The universe hears not only your words, but also your actions. And when your actions and words do not match, your energy becomes scattered. But discipline brings alignment. It tells the universe, I am serious, I am ready, I am devoted. And when you live in that energy, the universe responds with support, opportunities, and synchronicities. Discipline is not about rigidity, it is about consistency. When you meditate each morning, when you practice gratitude daily, when you commit to your goals with steady action, you are creating a rhythm within yourself. That rhythm vibrates outward, attracting people, resources, and experiences that match your energy. Life begins to move more smoothly, not because challenges disappear, but because your energy is aligned. You are no longer fighting against the current. You are flowing with it. Think of a musical instrument. If it is out of tune, no matter how beautifully it is played, the sound feels off. But when it is tuned, it resonates in harmony. Discipline is how you tune yourself to the frequency of the universe. Each act of discipline adjusts you, strengthens you, and fine-tunes your energy. And as you align, life begins to sing with you instead of against you. It may feel at times that discipline is heavy, that it demands too much. But what it truly demands is clarity. It asks you to decide who you are, what you want, and what you are willing to commit to. When you make those decisions and back them with disciplined action, you release confusion. You no longer send out 100 different signals. You send out one clear vibration. And that clarity calls back to you experiences that match it. This is why doors open for the disciplined. This is why opportunities find them. This is why they seem to move forward when others remain stuck. It is not luck. It is alignment. Discipline also aligns you with divine timing. Many people wonder why their dreams are delayed, why their prayers go unanswered. But often, it is not that the universe is withholding. It is that they are not yet prepared to receive. Discipline prepares you. It shapes you into the person who can handle the blessings you are asking for. It strengthens you so that when opportunity arrives, you are ready to hold it, nurture it, and expand it. Without discipline, blessings can slip through your fingers. With discipline, they multiply. This is why discipline is not about punishment. It is about partnership. You are partnering with the flow of life. You are saying, I will do my part, and I trust the universe to do the rest. And when you do this consistently, you begin to notice miracles. The right people appear. The right ideas come. The right timing unfolds. Not because you force life to bend to your will, but because you aligned your will with the greater rhythm already at work. So when you practice discipline, see it as a sacred act. See it as prayer in motion. Each time you honor your commitments, you are sending a signal to life that you are serious about your growth. Each time you stay consistent, you are proving to yourself and to the universe that you are ready. And as you stay aligned, life responds chaos, not with harmony, not with confusion, but with clarity. not with emptiness, but with abundance. Discipline is the language the universe understands. When you speak it fluently, the doors of creation open wide, and in that alignment, you discover that life was never against you. It was only waiting for you to align with its flow. Discipline is often misunderstood. Many people hear the word and immediately think of restriction, punishment, or something heavy that takes away freedom. But in truth, discipline is one of the greatest acts of love you can ever give to yourself. It is not about forcing yourself into a rigid box. It is about creating a structure that allows you to flourish. Discipline, when born from love, is not a burden, it is a blessing. It is the steady hand that guides you toward your highest potential. Think for a moment about how you care for someone you deeply love. You nurture them, you guide them, you protect them from harm, and you gently encourage them to grow. That is exactly what discipline does when it comes from a place of love. It becomes a daily reminder that you matter, that your dreams matter, and that the life you want to create is worth every ounce of devotion you give to it. Instead of being something harsh or punishing, discipline becomes a warm embrace, a commitment to your own well-being, and an affirmation that you deserve the best. When you wake up early to honor your goals, that is love in action. When you choose nourishing foods that fuel your body instead of empty habits, that is love speaking. When you resist the temptation to give up because you know the journey is building your strength, that is love shaping you. Every disciplined action is a form of self-care. It is your soul saying, I believe in you. I know you can create something extraordinary. True discipline does not shout at you or demand that you be perfect. It whispers gently, reminding you that consistency is far more powerful than intensity. It understands that you are human, that you may stumble, and that progress is not a straight line. Yet through it all, discipline holds your hand and says, let's begin again. That is why discipline is love. It is patient. It is forgiving. It allows room for growth. Without discipline, dreams remain ideas floating in the distance. But with discipline, you take those dreams and give them form, life, and reality. Discipline bridges the gap between desire and fulfillment. It tells the universe, say, I am serious about my vision, and I am ready to receive. And the universe responds by opening doors, sending opportunities, and aligning circumstances in your favor. When you show up for yourself consistently, you are showing the universe that you are ready to be trusted with greater blessings. Think about the people who inspire you. Whether they are artists, leaders, teachers, or creators, what sets them apart is not talent alone. It is their discipline. It is the love they poured into their craft day after day, even when no one was watching. Discipline is what carried them through moments of doubt, moments of struggle, and moments of fear, and it can do the same for you. Every time you choose discipline, you are planting seeds for your future. It may not bloom overnight, but slowly, steadily, you begin to notice the changes. You feel stronger. You trust yourself more. You begin to see evidence of your own power. Small daily commitments compound into magnificent transformations. This is why discipline is love. It is a promise to your future self, a declaration that you are worth every effort. There will be days when the path feels heavy, when you wonder why you must keep going, when it seems easier to slip back into old patterns. In those moments, remind yourself discipline is not punishment. You are not forcing yourself against your will. You are guiding yourself towards something greater. You are saying hi yes to health, to joy, abundance, to clarity, and to peace. Love is not always about comfort. It is also about choosing what will serve you in the long run. Discipline teaches you to trust yourself. Each time you follow through on your commitments, you strengthen your relationship with yourself. You no longer break promises to your soul. You no longer abandon yourself when things get hard. You learn that you are capable of so much more than you once believed. That inner trust becomes the foundation for confidence, resilience, and courage. When you embrace discipline as love, life begins to shift. You stop resenting the process and start honoring it. You stop feeling trapped and start feeling empowered. You no longer chase quick fixes because you know the steady rhythm of love-driven discipline will always lead you where you need to be. So, let discipline be your daily act of love. Let it be your way of saying, I cherish myself too much to settle for less. Show up for your body with movement and nourishment. Show up for your mind with clarity and focus. Show up for your dreams with persistence and faith. Every action becomes an offering, a message to yourself and to the universe that you are worthy of the life you envision. Remember, discipline is not about force. It is about love. It is the structure that supports your freedom, the foundation that holds your dreams, and the commitment that proves your worth to yourself. Treat discipline as the beautiful, loving companion it truly is, and you will discover that it not only changes your habits, it transforms your life. There will be times in life when your feelings won't match your goals. Times when you won't feel like waking up early, working on your dreams, studying, practicing, or even taking care of yourself. In those moments, the mind will try to bargain with you, telling you it's okay to skip, to wait for tomorrow, to settle for comfort. But comfort does not build greatness, and ease does not create strength. If you truly desire to change your life, you must learn the art of forcing yourself to be disciplined. Not out of cruelty, not out of punishment, but because your vision deserves to be honored, even when your mood says otherwise. When you force yourself to be disciplined, you are not fighting against yourself. You are fighting for yourself. You are choosing to rise above temporary feelings in order to protect your long-term future. Your emotions may be fleeting, but your dreams are sacred. Feelings pass, but the consequences of giving in to laziness remain. And so, when you push yourself to do what needs to be done, you are showing your soul that your goals matter more than momentary comfort. Discipline is not about waiting for the perfect mood or the right energy. If you only acted when you felt motivated, you would live a life of inconsistency and regret. Discipline is about showing up regardless of how you feel. It is the power to say, I will do this because it aligns with the life I want, not because I feel like it right now. This is how transformation happens. Not through bursts of energy, but through consistent action day after day. Even when your feelings resist, there will always be resistance. The mind naturally seeks the path of least effort, but growth requires effort. Success requires persistence. Healing requires commitment. If you allow your comfort zone to control you, you will stay small, stuck, and unfulfilled. Forcing yourself to be disciplined is how you break free from that trap. It is how you rise above the patterns that once limited you and step into a higher version of yourself. Think of the times you didn't want to do something but did it anyway. Perhaps it was exercising when you were tired, completing a project when you wanted to quit, or choosing a healthy meal instead of giving in to temptation. How did you feel afterward? Proud, strong, empowered. That pride is the gift discipline gives you. Forcing yourself to be disciplined in the moment creates lasting satisfaction that no fleeting comfort could ever replace. Every great achievement in history was born out of discipline. Writers who wrote even when the words didn't flow. Athletes who trained even when their bodies ached. Leaders who kept going even when the odds were against them. They all understood that discipline was the bridge between desire and reality. And so must you. Forcing yourself to be disciplined is not harsh. It is necessary if you want to live a life of purpose. You may tell yourself, it's too hard. But what is harder? Sacrificing a little comfort today or living a lifetime of regret because you never gave yourself the chance to succeed. Pain is inevitable, but you get to choose which pain you carry, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. One strengthens you, the other weakens you. One builds your future, the other destroys it. Forcing yourself to be disciplined means choosing the pain that transforms you instead of the pain that diminishes you. At first, it won't be easy. You will have to drag yourself through resistance. You will have to silence the excuses, quiet the fears, and override the doubts. But with time, forcing yourself to be disciplined becomes less of a battle and more of a habit. What once felt impossible begins to feel natural. Your mind adjusts, your body adapts, and your spirit strengthens. Discipline becomes part of who you are, not just something you do. And here lies the truth: discipline is freedom. When you force yourself to be disciplined, you are not imprisoning yourself. You are liberating yourself from the chains of procrastination, fear, and weakness. You are taking control of your life instead of letting life control you. You are building habits that give you power instead of stripping it away. So, force yourself to be disciplined even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. For that is the moment discipline does its greatest work. The moment you say yes to effort, yes to persistence, yes to your higher self, you are rewriting your destiny. You are showing the universe that you are serious about your growth, your goals, and your life. Do not wait for the perfect time, because it will never come. Do not wait for motivation, because it is fleeting. Do not wait for life to get easier, because it will always bring challenges. Instead, force yourself to show up. Force yourself to try again. Force yourself to stay committed. With each act of discipline, you grow stronger, more confident, more unstoppable. One day, you will look back and thank yourself for the moments you pushed through, for the times you forced yourself to keep going when it was difficult. You will see the life you built with your own determination, and you will know it was worth every effort. That is the gift of discipline. It may feel heavy in the moment, but it carries you to a future filled with freedom, strength, and fulfillment.